Welcome to Next Gen Manufacturing Nexus. Today, we're taking a hard look at the factory of, well, basically tomorrow. We're talking 2026, where the amazing promise of innovation is running smack into some pretty serious danger. All right, let's get into it.
For years, all we heard were buzzwords and predictions about the factory of the future. Well, you can pretty much forget all that, because it's not the future anymore.
That's right, the smart factory is here. It's not some cool concept we talk about anymore. It's a real, boots-on-the-ground reality that's changing how things get made as we speak.
So yeah, the hype of Industry 4.0 is over. We're now in the age of actually doing it, where companies are figuring out the nitty-gritty of getting humans and machines to work together seamlessly.
And wow, this new era is bringing some absolutely incredible innovations to the table. Let's check out the key trends that are completely rewriting the rules of what a factory can even be.
So, Forbes has laid out 6 huge trends for 2026. We're talking AI agents that literally run entire workflows and generative AI that designs brand new parts. We're also seeing smarter supply chains, new materials, and a big focus on, well, us. That's Industry 5.0, and it's all about making sure humans and machines work together, not against each other. Let's zoom in on a couple of these.
Okay, this is a huge leap. AI isn't just a sidekick crunching numbers anymore. Now we've got industrial AI agents planning, operating, and managing production lines in real time, often without a person needing to sign off on every little thing. They're juggling everything, pushing us closer and closer to a factory that can truly run itself.
Another total game changer is generative design. It's an amazing process, really. An engineer basically tells an AI, hey, I need a part that does this, using these materials, and it can't cost more than this. And then the AI just goes to work, exploring thousands of possible designs to find the absolute best one. And get this, Jacob Design used this for a NASA life support backpack and managed to cut its weight by a staggering 50%.
And then you've got Industrial Extended Reality, or XR. And this isn't just a fancy toy for the trade show floor. It's delivering real, measurable results. By layering digital information onto the real world, companies are seeing some incredible gains. Just look at this. Airbus cut assembly time by 15%, and Boeing slashed inspection errors by 40%. Those aren't small numbers. That's a massive boost in efficiency.
So the potential here is obviously enormous. Everything's faster, smarter, more connected. But that connectivity, that's the thing. It opens up a whole new can of worms, and a very serious kind of risk.
And here's the reality check, coming from Capgemini. 40%. Let that sink in. Nearly half of all companies with smart factories have already been hit by a cyber attack. That promise we talked about, it comes with a very real peril.
And that's exactly why these smart factories have become the new front line for cyber warfare. I mean, think about it. Every sensor, every connected machine, it's all another potential doorway for an attacker. A vulnerability that just didn't exist in the old, walled-off factories.
And this quote from Capgemini really nails the heart of the issue. Just knowing that there are risks out there, that's not even close to being enough. There's a massive difference between being aware of a threat and being prepared for it.
And we're not talking about a little crack here. This preparedness gap is more like a giant canyon. The data shows that across the entire industry, there's a serious lack of action and readiness.
So, get this. More than half of these organizations don't even have a dedicated team on standby to deal with an attack on their smart factory. No one's ready to jump in when the alarm bells go off.
On top of that, in over half of these companies, the folks running the factory aren't even really talking to the chief security officer. It's a huge communication breakdown in the one place you absolutely need everyone on the same page.
So, what's the result of all this? Well, it's exactly what you'd expect. Over half of these organizations admit that because they're slow to detect attacks, the damage ends up being much, much worse.
Okay, so that's a pretty alarming picture, I know. But it is not hopeless. There's a clear way forward. So what separates the companies that are vulnerable from the ones that are resilient? It really all comes down to having mature, deliberate practices. Capgemini actually identifies this small group, just the top 6%, as cybersecurity leaders. These are the companies that get it. They have mature practices from top to bottom, from awareness right through to actually implementing the security they need. They're the benchmark everyone else should be aiming for.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the performance gap between these leaders and everybody else. It is not a small difference, it is night and day.
80% of leaders can respond effectively, compared to just over half of the others. They're way better at stopping attacks in their tracks and spotting them in the first place. Being prepared really pays off.
So how do you become a leader? Well, Capgemini lays out a pretty clear 6-step roadmap. You start with an assessment to find your weak spots. Then you have to build awareness across the whole company, not just the IT team. You have to decide who actually owns the risk, set up the right frameworks, customize security for the factory floor, and this is key, establish strong governance from the very top.
Which brings us to the one final question that every single manufacturing leader needs to be asking themselves right now. As you're building this amazing Factory 2026, are you building it just for innovation, or are you also building it to be resilient against intrusion? Because in today's world, you really can't have one without the other.